Is he amiable?
Is he handsome? He's single.
I believe so.
Oh my goodness! Everybody behave naturally!
Mr. Collins, at your service.
In an era when marrying a rich man was the most a woman could hope for, Elizabeth Bennet was way ahead of her time.
I singled you out as the companion of my future life.
Sir, I cannot accept you.
Don't worry, Mr. Collins. Tell her you insist upon them marrying.
Oh, please.
You will have this house.
I can't marry
And
him.
save your sisters from destitution.
You cannot make me.
From Jane Austen, the beloved author of Emma and Sense and Sensibility.
That is Mr. Darcy.
He looks miserable, poor soul.
Miserable he may be, but poor he most certainly is not.
Do you dance, Mr. Darcy?
Not if I can help it.
What on earth have you done to poor Mr. Darcy? I have no idea.
Pride and Prejudice is a novel on manners by Jane Austen, first published in 1813. The story follows the main character, Elizabeth Bennet, as she deals with issues of manners, morality, education, and marriage in the society of the landed gentry of early 19th century in England, and it's a humorous story of love and life during the Georgian era. The plot of Pride and Prejudice is set at Longbourn, a small village where Mr. and Mrs. Bennet live with their 5 daughters, Jane, Lydia, Kitty, Mary, and Elizabeth. Unfortunately for the Bennets, if Mr. Bennet dies, their house will be inherited by a distant cousin, whom they have never met, so the family's future happiness and security is dependent on the daughters making good marriages. Life is uneventful until the arrival in the neighborhood of the rich gentleman Mr. Bingley, who rents a large house so he can spend the whole summer in the country. Mr. Bingley brings with him his sister and the dashing and richer, but proud Mr. Darcy. After a series of ball and party that bring the members of this society together, Mr. Bingley falls in love with Jane, and his friend Darcy is attracted by Elizabeth. She refuses him because considers him responsible for the separation of Mr. Bingley and her sister, and of ill-treating a young officer, son of Darcy's former steward. But Darcy writes her a letter where reveals that Wickham is an unscrupulous adventurer. Darcy provides for the marriage of Wickham and Lydia. Elizabeth revalues Darcy and accepts his renewed proposal against the will of his arrogant aunt. The story ends with the happy marriage of the two couples. That of a romantic comedy, it concerns the fortunes of young lovers, their misunderstandings, and ends in happy endings. The two heroes, Darcy and Elizabeth, have great qualities but also weakness, and are developed in critical antithesis to the conventional heroes of the sentimental novels of the period. Darcy is unsociable, Elizabeth has lively mind and a strong spirit of independence, and she refuses the conventional good manners the society imposes. Darcy accuses Elizabeth of prejudice, and she accuses him of pride, but they also work in reverse, because her pride makes she blind to consider his virtues. The story presents the marriage from several points of view, in terms of security and independence, physical infatuation, and containing elements of love and prudence. The most immediate movie version is the one of 2005 with Keira Knightley in the role of Elizabeth. There are also other great actors, Judi Dench as Lady de Burgh, Donna Sutherland as Mrs. Bennet, and Carey Mulligan in the role of Kitty. I consider this film a well-made movie and an exciting addition to the book. You can finally enjoy the looks, music, hairstyles, colors, and dances characteristic of the era. But the film also has the ability to give to the male characters a strong personality, much more marked than those assigned by the author. I love Keira Knightley's version. It's not exactly like the book, and quite a few things from the novel were cut out in the movie, but it does a good job of keeping the main plot intact. Pride and Prejudice simply has too much going on for it to be translated into a film, and the filmmakers had to cut some things out. At the end, it's better to read a book than watching a movie.
I vostre mani sono fredde.